Hello everybody, welcome to this wonderful reading. I'm Zoe Alex, welcome. In this reading I'm going to provide you for a Libra reading, and basically the Libra reading will go for February the 7th to February the 14th of 2025. Now, in this reading I'm going to provide you is that, the things will go in the right place, in the right time at the exact moment. And you have to take a grain of salt, and in that perspective way you need to understand about what's going on in this whole entire how it is, and you have to know about this whole entire diagram on how things are, right? You need to express yourself. You have to accept on how things are, right? Because this reading is going to provide you about what's happening through this long range of how it is, where you need to accept on how it is, right? You have to believe on how it goes, and you have to think, okay, well, this is the way it goes. This is the way of how time passes on and stuff like that. You need to understand that, because there is a way of knowing what to do, and you have to know what's going on, because you have to think about your the way of how you can do it, where you have your strengths, your weaknesses, whatever it is, and you have to know about that, because the way of how this is, you have to understand that there are things that you need to learn in order to do that, right? Because you have to accept on the way of how it goes, and you think, okay, well, I got this, but then it's like, well, do you or you don't? That's the way it is. So I'm going to read you an oracle card, and then we're going to get through the tarot for the situation about this Libra, what's happening, right? Because Libra is a air sign, and this is the way it goes. Okay. So, this is acceptance. I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. That's the way it goes, where you have the acceptance of where you're going to be accepting things, but then you can't change them. Just like the weather. You can't change the weather, you can't have control of it. No, you can't. But there are ways that you can reconsider the following options, where you need to understand that if you accept, then you're going to agree, instead of a disagree, That's the way it goes. Because you need to understand that. It's like, okay, well, this is the way it is, but then you have to understand that. Because this is a way of knowing what to do, and you think, okay, well, I got this, but then you need to figure it out on your own to do things. It's the way of how you can understand of how it is, and you think, okay, well, I got this, I know what to do. But then, not so fast. Because now you understand that, right? You have to accept on, and you have to provide what you're looking for, because that's the way it happens, right? That's the way you have dignity, self-respect, that's the way how it goes. Because you need to figure out, who is on the front line, who isn't. That's the way it goes, right? And that's the way it seems to be. So you need to understand that. Because when you accept, that's how you can, put upon a situation to do the exact moment. Okay? That's the way it goes. So, that's the way it seems to be, and that's the way it kind of goes for a moment. So that's the way it seems to be. So, the way of how I'm going to do it is where I'm going to figure out what's going on in this situation. And knowing about this situation, I just need to prove myself worthy of how this is going to be, and this is the way it seems to be, right? So you need to understand that the way of how you can visualize your own acceptance, you have to do from the way it goes. So I'm going to do basically almost like a baseball field kind of thing, but in exactly the tarot moment. Okay, this is the way it kind of goes. So this is a very interesting way on how you can do that, because you need to express on how you're feeling, because the way of how this is, you have to think, okay, well, this is the way it goes, because you have to look upon the reason, and you think that, okay, well, I know what to do, but then it's like, well, this is the way it kind of goes, right? So you have to think about what's happening in this exact moment, right? This is the way of how it is, because you think, okay, well, this is the way it goes. So here we go with this exact thing that I'm talking about, okay? So in this reading I'm going to provide you is that this is the way it goes. So if you look at this as a baseball field situation, Libra, you're paying attention to it. So the wands, it does represent speed, it does represent Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. The Magician reverse, there's no skill yet, you know. Then you have the Ten of Swords upright, so it does represent Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, right? That's the way it goes. And the Ten of Swords upright, where you have basically conclusions. You know, that's the way it goes, right? And the Eight of Cups reverse, there is no entertainment, nothing like that. But then you have the structure as the Emperor, right? That's the way it goes, right? So things must be in place in order to do that, in order to identify how it's going to be. So you have to think about, okay, well, this is the way it goes. So I'm going to look at, you know, this whole entire reading that I'm going to impose. So it's like a reading that I never did before, but the way of how this is, I'm just trying to figure this out, because the way of how this is, you have to think that, okay, well, this is the way it happens, where, okay, it seemed to be that, but then it's like, okay, well, this is the way it seemed to be. So I need to understand that this is the way it goes. So I'm going to clarify. So I'll do a 3-card reading for the Emperor, and then I'll work my way around, okay? So the King of Wands reversed, followed by the 6 of Pentacles reversed, followed by the 10 of Pentacles is upright. So you are looking for money, like you already have money, you know, you could be dealing with another Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, but you have money, okay? That's the way it goes. The 6 of Pentacles reversed, it means that you're not having kindness. I don't know why you're not being unkind, but you know, that's the way how it goes. In that one stepping stone as his, where you think, okay, well, I got this, but then it's like, well, you know, this is not a pressure point situation, but that's the way it goes, where you're trying to have an interaction, and that's the way it goes, right? What's this Eight of Wands here? The Temperance reversed, followed by the 3 of Cups reversed, followed by the Eight of Wands reversed. Yeah, so you had speed, but then you have no speed. So you have basically, you know, none speed at all, right? Because basically in that format, you think, okay, well, this is very interesting, but the way it goes, right? So when the Temperance is like, there's healing, 3 of Cups reversed, there's no excitement, that's the way it goes, right? But I'm going to clarify between these 3 cards. So let's see what's going on. The 9 of Cups is upright. So it does represent Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio as a water sign. Everything is fulfilled. Everything is like you're doing exactly what you can. It's like, I got this, I know what to do. But then it's like, well, this is very interesting, right? Because you think that, oh, everything's fine, but then it's like, well, it kind of is, but then it's like not. You know, that's the way it seemed to be, right? So you have to understand that you have to play your own set of rules. Please understand that. Now, what's the 10 of Swords here? 2 of Swords is upright, followed by the Page of Pentacles reversed, followed by the 4 of Cups reversed. Yeah, so there is no distraction. You know, the Page of Pentacles reversed, there's no prospects, whatever it is. And the 2 of Swords is upright, where you don't know which direction you're going to take, left or right. So you have to make your own decisions in order to do this, because this is like a play-by-play situation where you got this, but then it's like, well, this is the way it goes. You know, life goes on where you get the own way, but then it's like, well, do I need to understand this? That's the way it goes. What's this 8 of Cups here? 5 Pentacles is upright, followed by the Tower is upright, followed by the Chariot is upright. So basically, you know, 5 Pentacles does represent money in that situation, and it does represent a Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. The Tower is upright because everything is changing. You know, and everything is transformation, everything's changing, that's the way it goes. And the Chariot is upright because you're having, basically you have progress because you are doing that, right? That's the way it kind of goes, where you have to accept that way and say, all right, well, I got this, I know what to do. But this is the same idea. Now, between this Magician reversed, I'm going to clarify that. I'm going to do a clarify as the 3-card reading. So there's the Three of Swords reversed, followed by the Death card is upright for endings, and the Nine of Pentacles reversed means that you're not feeling any comfort, you know. So you're not gonna have any heartbreak. You're not feeling comfort because it's uncomfortable, you know. So the Death card does represent Scorpio as a water sign. You know, what's the opposite between this Nine of Pentacles here? The Lovers reversed, followed by the Queen of Wands reversed, followed by the Nine of Wands is upright. So you're having fear. Yes, because you're having fear. When you have fear, you're thinking, well, why do I have fear? Why do I have, you know, the way of how I can accept this? It's like, well, yes, you do. But then in order to satisfy your own interactions, you think that I got this, but then it's like, no, you don't. You know, that's the way it seems to be. Because I'm going to clarify. I'm going to clarify the Nine of Wands for Libra. February the 7th to February the 14th of 2025. So let's see. Give me a 3-card reading with that, please. The Hermit is upright, there's Solitude, followed by the High Priestess is upright, so, and the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So you're having bad luck. The High Priestess is upright where you could be using your inner voice or you could be using your guidance, whatever it is. That's the way it goes. And the Hermit is upright because you're feeling like you're gonna have solitude where you're looking for a soulmate, but then it's like, well, do I need to understand this, right? What's the opposite with this Wheel of Fortune? The Moon is upright, there's misrotations. The Tower is upright, there's transformation. Yeah, everything is changing. You know, that's the way it kind of goes, where you think, okay, well, everything's fine, but then it's like, no, it's not. You have the way of how you can have your own discipline, your own feelings, your own interactions, the way of how you can do it. Because nonetheless, that everything seems to be all great, but then, no, it's not. You know, it's the way of how you can try to intervene. You know, do things, do that, you know, how you can do your own notifications, you know. That's why you need to understand about express yourself. Express about how things are. Express about how you can do what you can, saying, okay, well, I know what to do, but then it doesn't make sense. You know, and this reading does make sense, but then you have to believe it. You have to succeed. You have to do what you can. Saying, oh, well, you know, by the way, I'm doing exactly what I want, but then what's the use? You know, what's the way of how you can do it, right? That's the way it seems to be. So, you know, that's the way it goes. So, let me clarify. Basically what's going on through this situation. So I'm going to clarify between the middle towards the left and the middle to the right. So the Queen of Wands reversed, followed by the Knight of Cups is upright, followed by the Six of Wands is upright, followed by the Seven of Wands is upright. So basically you're going to have celebration on your side. So you could be celebrating on something. You could be dealing with a Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. You have the Knight of Cups is upright because you could be looking for a romance. That's the way it goes. And the Seven of Wands is upright because you're feeling resilience. Maybe you're doing that because that's the way it kind of goes. So this is the way it seems to be, right? That's the way it is, right? On the right side, I'm going to clarify that. The Five of Wands reversed, followed by the Seven of Cups is upright, followed by the Knight of Swords reversed, followed by the King of Wands reversed. Yeah, so you're not feeling any passion. You're not having drama in that situation, but you have the Seven of Cups is upright because there is a deja vu moment. It could be that. But then the way of how this is, the worst case scenario is where you need to understand about what's going on through this situation. So between the Knight of Swords and the King of Wands, I'm going to clarify that. The Four of Pentacles reversed, followed by the Sun card is upright. So you have positivity because you're dealing with Leo as a fire sign. That's the way it goes. But then that's the way it seems to be. But between this Queen of Wands and this Five of Wands, and clarify that, is the Fool is upright. Yeah, because there's going to be change here. That's the way it goes. Where when you have this, the sensitivity, you have the right from the way of how it goes. Where you need to have that decency, that self-respect, the way of how you can have discipline and things that will be going your way. That's the way it goes, right? So I'll do the same thing. So I'll do the left side to the middle, from the middle to the right. The Hangman reverse, there's no restrictions. The Moon reverse, there's no misrotations. The Justice reversed, followed by the Star reverse, followed by the World reverse. So there's no inspiration. The World reverse, there is something that was incompleted. The Justice reverse, you're not telling the truth. I don't know why you're not telling the truth, because you're lying about something. So I have no idea, but please to be unaware about that, because you have your own disciplined feelings, or your emotions, where you're feeling like everything's fine, but then it's like, no, you're not. No. So you have to understand that the way of how this is, everything has to be in that exact moment, an exact time. That's the way it goes, right? Now, that's on the left side. On the right side, I'm going to clarify. Death card is upright, there's endings. The Hierophant is upright, followed by the High Priestess is upright, followed by the Magician reversed, followed by the Tower is upright. So, when you have the Death card, there's endings that are going to come up, so you're dealing with another Scorpio. The Hierophant, it does represent your own, it could be guidance as you're going to be doing it, where you're going to have guidance. The High Priestess is upright, where you're using your inner voice, because that's what you're using. And the Tower is upright because everything is transforming. Everything is like changing and everything else, right? That's the way of how it goes, because you need to figure out saying, okay, well, I got this, I know what to do, but then that's the way it seems to be, because you think that, okay, everything's fine, but it's like, yeah, but why is it not fine? Like, is there something wrong with this situation, right? Is there something wrong with you? But that's the way it goes. So I'm going to do this reading that I'm still doing, and I'm going to go from the middle, and I'll do something different with this reading for Libra. So let's see what's going on. So the World reversed, so there was incompletion. The Knight of Wands, Knight of Pentacles reversed, there's no basically, like, you're not telling the truth, or maybe you're not gonna, I don't know, but there was something that was happening in that situation. The Justice is upright because you could be telling the truth, or you balancing two things at once. The Empress is upright, there's nourishment. Ace of Wands reversed, but then you have the Two of Wands is upright because you're planning on something. Yeah, you're planning on what to do next. That's the way it goes. So you could be dealing with another Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. On the right side, let's see. Yeah, the Nine of Wands is upright, so there's fear. Nine of Swords reversed, there's no trauma in that situation. The Chariot is upright, there's progress. The Hangman is upright because there's restrictions. Yeah, there's the way it goes, because it's like, it's the way of how you can do it, where you think, okay, well, I'm restricted, because that's the way it goes, right? Because when you have restrictions, that's the way it goes, where you're restricting about what's going on through that situation, whether it's good and bad, whether it's kind of, easy peasy, but then it's not really, it's the way of how you can do that. You have to think that, okay, well, this is the way it goes, where everything's fine, but then it's like, no, it's not, and that's the way it seems to be. So, let me clarify the middle towards the left side, and then the middle to the right. So you have the Nine of Swords is upright. So it does represent Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. So those are the elements of the air sign, right? Followed by the Queen of Swords is upright, followed by the Ten of Cups is upright, followed by the Star is upright, followed by the Four of Swords reversed, followed by the Four of Wands is upright. So there could be celebration on your side. That's the way it goes. You have inspiration. 10 Cups is upright. There's incompletion. But you want things to happen in the right way, in the exact moment, exact time. That's the way it goes, right? Now, on the right side, let's see. Knight of Swords reverse, there's no drama. Moon reverse, there's no misrotation. The Sun is upright, there's positivity. And the Devil is upright. There, it does represent Capricorn, but it does represent violation. So basically, you're having a bad day. Maybe there was something wrong with it, where maybe you were at work, and maybe there was a person that's saying a lot of bad language, and you say, forget this, I don't want to do. That's the way it seems to be, where you need to understand that, okay, well, everything needs to be the way how it goes, and you think, okay, well, I know what to do, but then, what's the plan of this situation? You need to understand about how you can do it, but in order to understand the way it seems to be, you need to believe and face your own consequences from the right and wrong perspective, right? That's the way it goes. So I'm going to go from the middle to the left, the middle to the right. So the Nine of Pentacles here is there's no comfort, exactly. The Seven of Pentacles here is there's no vision. Death card is upright, there's endings. The Six of Pentacles is upright, there's kindness. Yeah, it is. The King of Wands here is there's no passion, but the Four of Cups is upright, there's a distraction. That's the way it goes, where you have kindness and you have a distraction. Earlier, you didn't have any kindness, but then you do. That's the way it goes, right? So you need to believe that you can do it and say, alright, well, I know what to do, because that's the way it goes, right? So that's on the left side, because it does represent, the Death card represents the endings. That's the way it goes, because everything is ending, right? That's the way it happens. So on the right side, let's see. The Ace of Swords here, there's no understanding, so there's a misunderstanding here. The Eight of Swords here, there's no anxiety. Chariot's upright, there's progress. Wheel of Fortune is upright, you're going to have good luck. The Three of Pentacles here, there's no excitement. Two Wands reverse, you're not planning on something. 10 Wands is upright because you have burdens. Yeah, exactly. 3 Wands is upright, there's communication. Yeah, that's the way it goes. That's the way it wants to be, right? Because when you have the Ace of Swords reverse, you have a misunderstanding. That's the way it goes. So I don't know why you have a misunderstanding, but let me clarify that. Let me clarify the misunderstanding. The Eight of Pentacles here, there's no perfection. The Hangman reverse, there's no stillness, so there's no restrictions. But then the Knight of Swords is upright, there's drama. Yeah, it is, because that's the way it goes. Because when you have a misunderstanding, it's like, well, I know what to do, but then it's like, no, it doesn't work out that way. You think that everything's fine, but then it's like, no, this is not like a pity party. This is not the way it goes. You have to think about how I can do it. Because in order to do that, you have to think, okay, well, I know what to do, but then this is the way it goes, right? So that's the way it happens. So I'm going to read you now a book that's called The Enchanted Map. I'm going to read you one of the cards that says that. And it seems to be that going on, because I know how it seems to be, and it's very interesting of how it is, because now you have to think, okay, well, I know what to do. So it's going to be very interesting. If it's upright, fine, I'll read it. If it's reversed, then I will read it. That's the way it kind of goes. So let's see, because I'm going to see what's going on, because I know that you like to hear my beautiful voice, as it seems to be, I guess. And that's the way it kind of goes. So let's see. Alright, let's see. So in this reading, you have number 44, strength. I just talked about strength, didn't I? Talked about your strengths or weaknesses earlier about this reading that started. but then I'm going to do it. So when you have strength, that's the way it goes. So here we go. So it's a little bit upright until the next page, and then I'll stop. But here we go. So number 44, and this is it. It says, your true strength comes not from self-resilience alone, but from a sincere faith in a higher power. So here we go. It says, the strength to accomplish even the most daunting task is yours at this time. You can connect with and channel the power of the universe. The strength card indicates that your ideas are being tested and refined, and your relationships are being deepened. No matter what happens, nothing can move you off the course of evolution, as the potency of your connections becomes more obvious. You're able to harness the creative energies that are available to you. Have courage and dive in, for magic is in the process of finding a form to take. When you remember that real strength comes from a combination of your efforts and resilience on a higher power working through you, all is possible. You can do anything now. So it means that when you have strength, you have basically the deep end of your relationships, and you do that because when you have strength, you have the ability from that way of learning what to do. You know, that's the way it happens, because in theory you have to think that, you know, okay, well, I know what to do, I can do it, I know what I'm going to say it. That's the way it goes, because in theory there are things they need to learn in order to do that, right? It is the way of how it goes, because when you have the decency, self-respect, how you can do it, you know, internal life, whatever it is, you need to understand that, because believe about this. Seeing is believing, believing is seeing. That's all you can do. But in the way of how this says, you need to understand that, okay, I got this, I know what to do. And, you know, there's a life purpose here. So everything needs to be fine and greedy, or whatever it is, because that's the way it goes. Because when you have violence, and when you have negativity, or when you have violence, and someone's talking to you, and all of a sudden they're saying bad language to you, and you're having a bad day at your work, or whatever it is, it's like you can't think about staying positive as much as you can. So you need to understand that if someone's being negative to you, or someone's like being mean to you, or whatever, try to stay away from that person. And if you're at work, you may be just saying, okay, I need some time off, I need to leave, I need to do whatever I want. That's the way it goes. Because, you know, you have to accept about the way it happens, because you need to understand that. That's the way it seems to be. So, before I let you all go, pay attention about this reading. Pay attention that it's going to happen to you, and that's the way it goes. Because that's the way it seems to be. So understand that, because you need to do what you can, and you have to focus on that. So, you know, that's the way it goes, but that's the way it seems to be. So, I hope you all like this video. Please give a like, please give a comment, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day to you all, and thank you. And have a good day. Thank you. Bye for now. Ready. Thank you so much, and bye.